Hey everybody, it's Alex here with Express Nails, and this is my very first live tutorial. I want to teach everyone the most basic starter thing you need to know before you start doing your nails at home, and that's how to properly take off polish and remove product. So that's it, because if you're going to do any nail art or any acrylics or gels, you need a clean, prepped nail. So I'm doing this on Facebook Live, but I will also have this up on my YouTube channel, and you can watch it later if you forget a step or you want to share it with a friend or remind somebody. But first things first is we have to take off our polish and have a clean, prepped nail. So if you have on plain polish, I have a bunch of different fingers. I like to try new products. So some of them are, this is a dip powder. It's a new dip powder by Gelish. And then some of these are my natural nails. So I get to show you, no matter what is on your nails, how to do it, because I have a little bit of everything on mine at all times. First things first is the type of polish that you're going to use. I recommend, if you have just regular nail polish on your nails, that you use a non-acetone nail polish. And it's important that you look at the bottles when you go to the store to see that it says non-acetone, because a lot of regular generic nail polishes will have some acetone in them. And if you are trying to keep your nails healthy and moisturized, you don't want something that's going to dry them out and make them brittle, and then they get, they start peeling or they crack or they chip. And if you have a product on your nail, like an acrylic or a gel, you might want to keep that nail intact, so you also want to use non-acetone. Now, if you have a no-chip polish on your nail, let me see, we're going to figure out how to get lighting working well so it looks good for everybody. If you have a no-chip polish on your nail, you're going to need to use an acetone polish. That's the only thing that's going to get it off. So you have to find a nail polish that's either 100% acetone, that's just pure acetone, or a nail polish with acetone in it. And you can pick those up at any of your grocery stores or drug stores, whatever. So first things first is we're going to take off our polish. I have both types of polish here. I have a non-acetone polish. I keep them in these easy little bottles. These are professional nail polish removal bottles, but I do know that, I don't think I have one here in my drawer, but you can get these at the dollar store, and I like to keep my just rubbing alcohol and hydrogen peroxide in one for my family when they need to use it. They're so convenient, instead of having to unscrew a bottle and taking the chance that you might spill or have a little accident. So they're very convenient, and like I said, you can pick them up at the dollar store or probably a drugstore. I know you can get them on Amazon. Second thing is we're going to use cotton. Now I hope I can show this on both of my screens. I pick up just regular cotton squares or cotton balls at the grocery store. These are fine when you're taking off polish. It really doesn't matter what you use to remove product. It will matter when you are putting on a gel or something that you don't want little fuzzes in your manicure. And if your eyes aren't able to pick those up all the time, you want to be cautious about what type of product you use. So I like to use these though for taking off polish. It saves money and it's super easy. Now, another money saving tip is to not use the whole thing on your nails, to actually, split it and tear it into little pieces like this. It will absorb the nail polish remover, and it'll be just enough for one finger at a time. Second is you're going to want to use something to seal it, and I recommend just aluminum foil. Now, there are professional products that you can purchase that will keep the nail polish remover inside, but if you're doing it at home, and you don't have those things, or if you're a nail tech that kind of just does it on the side and you don't have a large volume, it might not be the most cost effective for you. So I recommend just great old aluminum foil. And you'll tear off a piece. Sorry, you won't be able to see the behind the scenes here. But I say, if you get a wide enough piece, can you see how wide that is, everybody? Can you see how wide that is on the other TV? You can then tear it into sections. You can actually use this whole sheet, the length of the sheet, it's a lot of shining, will be enough for 5 nails. So you can just split that into, tear it into little pieces, and that's enough to cover. See, now this one I'll do in a smaller section, that'll be my pinky. That's enough to cover 5 nails. So right there, little cost-effective, money-saving tip when you're taking off polish. But if you go get a no-chip polish or an acrylic that is starting to lift and you want it off and you want a fresh start, fresh clean nails, go ahead and take your acetone polish. I keep my acetone and my non-acetone in separate bottles. They're a little bit different colors, so I can see that the difference, but I think it helps me to remember when I'm holding it. If you use just a regular cotton ball, go ahead and tear it into little pieces. It's so easy to tear cotton into multiple sections, and just a little bit is enough for one nail. You don't need a full cotton. Don't be wasteful. So let's go ahead and put some acetone on our nail, on our cotton, and we put it directly on the nail so that it covers the whole thing. And then, see, this is fun to do. I'm teaching everyone how to do this at home when somebody else isn't doing it for you.
It is fun.
Take it and wrap it and tuck the top down, fold the top down like that, and you're done. Give it a good little squeeze so it's on there nice and tight. And that's it. And now you wait. And this is going to do its job inside here. It's going to soak and it's going to melt the, well, it's really a type of plastic. So it'll melt it off, and then later I'll show you how to scrape it off. I have a cuticle pusher that I prefer to use. This is a really fun one. I'm not sure if they make these anymore. This is my favorite. I hold on to it. It has multiple sizes on one tool. It is by OPI, but you can use an orange wood stick or any type of cuticle pusher that you would like. I think. So we'll go ahead and get that one started. I'm going to go do my next nail. Now, of course, if you're right-handed or left-handed, it'll be easier depending on which hand your is prominent. But just take your time, wrap it up. It doesn't have to be perfect. Let's go ahead and put some more acetone on another cotton. We're going to lay it on top of that nail, and we're going to wrap it up. Wrap it up. All right. There we go. Remember, it doesn't have to be perfect. Then tuck that end down, seal in all that on top of your nail, and let your nails soak. Now, these are natural nails on these two fingers here, so I'm going to just use a little non-acetone polish because I don't want to do any damage to my natural nails. I want to keep the moisture. I don't want to have to strip them unless I'm going to be applying a product later to them. You see this on this other screen over here too? Here we go. So just remove your polish, take your time, get it off real good. Make sure you get in the corners, and that's it. Most people know how to do this part, right? But you want, the most important thing when you're doing any type of manicure is to have a clean base to work with. So on this nail, I have a dip powder, and I'm going to go ahead and use a non-acetone polish remover on it because I want to just paint over it. I want to leave that nail on my finger just to show you the difference. I could take it off and put a fresh one on tonight, but let's just go ahead and show you. So it will just take off the polish and it won't take off the product underneath, which is really important if you just want a new color. Now, if you're using a no chip polish over a gel or acrylic or a powder, then this light is crazy. Let's see. Can you see that? Sorry. Technical difficulties here. But that is where we're going to go with that. We're going to just keep taking it off nice until it's down to just the product underneath. This is the fun part. Just takes time. Make sure you have a good clean nail underneath to start your next job, or you will be sorry because you'll have lifting or peeling or chipping if there's any type of leftover gunk on your nail. If you're having a really hard time, you can use a buffer. For certain people, if you have like a no chip polish but you have a gel nail underneath, you could buff off some of that polish as well. Use a fine buffer and take your time. You'll feel some buffers will have two different grits on, like I think this is 100 on this side and this is 180. Now the 180 is going to be a little finer grit, and so it won't do as much damage as quickly. So take your time. If you're new to this, just go a little bit and buff off that if you're wearing like a no chip or a gel until you get close, and then keep alternating back and forth with your non-acetone polish remover or acetone depending on what you want. But if you have an acrylic underneath or some type of product, you don't want to use acetone, or you could do damage to that product, and then you have to take off the whole thing and start over again. Okay, so we have clean nails here, and we're waiting for these powder dip acrylics to come off. Hi everyone. Tonight we're just doing how to take off polish properly. It's such a big, important step that people miss, and I want to talk about prepping the nail and what to do if you're wearing a product underneath. Like on some of my nails, I have a powder gel or a no chip gel polish, and then I have an acrylic powder on this thumb, and then these are my natural nails. I did a little bit of everything, so no matter what you have on your nails, you will find a way to clean off your nails and start your own manicures at home. So let's check. We're going to check under this nail first and see if it's done. Like I said, you can use anything to remove the product. See, it's sticking. I have a cuticle pusher that I use to take mine off, but you can use an orange wood stick, or there's all different kinds of cuticle pushers, some kind of nail. Sometimes you will have to do it a few times depending on how thick your layers are underneath. So go ahead and wrap it back up if you need to, or even if you want, go ahead and use your buffer on your nail, or a fine nail file. Don't go too far. You don't want to get your nail or do any damage underneath, but go ahead and buff off a layer. Can you guys see that on both cameras? I'm sorry. Go ahead and buff off a layer just a little, but not too deep. You don't want to get close. And then go ahead and wrap it back up. It should be good. And you just have to be patient. Getting it to come off is, you know, you just have to give it time to melt and do its thing. Here we go. You're going to get to see me wrap again. Just however you can get it with your hands. If you're right-handed and you're doing your left hand, be careful. And if you're left-handed doing your right hand, you know, it's just whatever's easiest for you and however you can get it to wrap up. And that's it. So we're going to wait for this to work. While I'm waiting, since I have some different options for you guys, I am going to get rid of this chip that I have here at the tip of my nail. And you'll see that, where are they? They're pretty bad. I cracked one off last night when I was walking home, so I'm going to just shape it. I like square nails personally. I like to flatten off the ends, so I'm going to go ahead and just take that flat. And to file your own nails, I find it best to keep my hand down, and kind of gives me a surface to just keep a straight line. If it helps you, especially for people doing their own nails, if you're not looking at somebody else's as the nail tech, when you're doing your own and they're facing you, go ahead and curl your nails under and look at your hand, because not all nails are gonna be straight or at the same angles for everybody. So some of my fingers, I have to stop and I have to look at it from my point of view to see, and then I can say, oh, that corner's a little high, and go ahead and take off that corner to myself. But then I still think it's easiest to set it back down on the table, and once I know which way the angle needs to be shaped a little bit better, then I can go ahead and just clean it up. Now, a tip that you might not know is on the sides, you will get the most breakage. They're the most, tender. So you have to be really careful, because if you go back and forth, you can actually damage your nail and then it'll split or crack. Best thing to do is use the finest side of your file and pull if you have to clean up an edge. So, but usually you should only have to clean from the outgrowth, but if you do have to get in there a little bit, go ahead and pull in one direction. I think out is the best. That's easy to remember. Pull in one direction and clean up that edge. Same on this side. I'm going to pull, and then once I pull out, I'm going to go ahead and keep it around. So I'm going to pull up and around to kind of round that corner off there, because I don't like sharp corners. I think that's dangerous. You'll end up cutting somebody, especially when you have kids. You don't want to accidentally scratch somebody with a sharp nail. That hurts. So we'll clean up those edges. We'll do the same on this finger. Straighten it out on the table. Go ahead and look at it for yourself. Make sure that when it's facing you, that line is straight. See, my pointer finger is wonky, so it isn't straight. When I look at it this way, I'm going to take in that right side just a little bit more, even though from this angle it looks uneven. To me, when I'm holding it this way, I can see that it's more straight. And most people aren't going to look at it from your point of view like this. They're going to look at it, from their point of view. So we'll go ahead and pull along the edge again in one direction and clean up those corners. Same on this one. So take time while you're waiting for your others to finish off to go ahead and clean up your nails. There we go. Now, another interesting fact that I could tell you is you will, if you are not eating healthy or if you're sick, sometimes if you've done damage to your nail and also age, you'll start to see different lines and shapes inside your fingernail, and it will tell you what's going on inside your body. Now, if you get ridges that are horizontal like this, that can be from damage to your nail or diet to your nail. I have a few that have some pretty intense ridges, and I can tell you how many times I have damaged my nail or smashed my finger. Little white spots will tell you if you had too much calcium. Sometimes it can be like if you hit your nail, there'll be like a little bruise, so those can be white. Or if you have been wearing your polish too long and you don't take it off and clean your nail underneath and change it as often as you should, you will get calcium deposits in your nail from the polish. Now you can either let them grow out or you can buff a little bit, but if you have thin nails like me, you're going to want to buff or do anything on the surface of your nail as little as possible. So I would just wait for them to grow out because they're not super noticeable. I don't have any today to show you, but what I do have is old lady lines. So I actually have ridges that grow vertical here, and unfortunately that happens with age. I'll show my Facebook Live people, I'll show everybody on YouTube over here. So you can either get that from something going wrong in your diet, or it just unfortunately starts to happen and they can get deeper. If you have deep lines, go ahead and buff it a little bit each time. But when you do buff it, then also use a vitamin nail strengthener before you move on. So if you do a no chip gel polish, they actually make a strengthening vitamin base coat for your no chip polish. And then if you use regular polish, of course, there are a lot of really great options for strengthening your natural nail underneath. Let's see. OPI does Nail Envy, which is a great one. There's another one, Nail Tech. They have a great strengthener. And if you want, you can get a nice over-the-counter strengthener. You can also give your nails a break. Put some lotion on your hands and some oil. I recommend this is my favorite because it smells great. And I use a lot of it because it's super dry out here where I live. But this will help you. Even if you have product on your nails, use a cuticle oil often. It will soak in. It will be good for your hands, for your skin, for your cuticles, and for your nails underneath. So, highly recommend investing in a good cuticle oil. And keep it handy. The problem with cuticle oil is I would give it to clients and they wouldn't use it because they'd be like, oh, I left it at home. Or, oh, so I left it in my purse or whatever. And so I recommend getting into a routine. It's the best thing I can tell you. Keep it by your bedside, and every night before you go to bed, put it on. One of my clients was great about always putting it on right before she went to sleep. That was what worked for her. For me, I used to keep it in my car, right on my dash, and when I'd sit at a red light, I'd put cuticle oil on because that was my quick time for myself. I would just put a little oil and rub my fingers because I'm a picker. I don't know about you. But if they're dry and I can catch an edge, I will sit there and pick it until I rip it, and then that's no good. Then we're back to trying to let our nails heal and get healthy again in our skin. So let's go ahead and check these nails that we have soaking again and see how far along we are to get them off. Wow, look at that. Can you guys see that over here and on this camera too? See that, how it's coming off? So I can even just peel it with my fingers. Do you see that? Don't even have to use my pusher. I can just peel it with my fingers. I'm going to go ahead and clean it with my pusher now. Let's see. Push, 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 push. And get all that last bottom stuff off. There we go. Nice and clean underneath. Look how long my natural nail is. It's beautiful. Now, if you've had product on your nails and you're going natural, it is so important that you protect this. If you have a lot of outgrowth, it's going to be thin. I mean, that's unfortunately what happens when you usually go to one of those cheaper salons and they file on top of your nail before applying the product. That helps put ridges in it so that the nail has little bumps, and then the product can fit into those little bumps and it'll stick and stay. And that's good if you want your nails to stay, but if you want the health and quality of your nail, it's not good because then you've done damage to your nail. And it takes 6 months for your nail to grow back from a fresh brand new nail. That damage will take time to grow out, and you need to give it that time, and you need to take care of it and give it strengtheners and keep it protected, or it's going to crack off. And if you're a nail biter, that's when you're going to start biting again. Or you can get frustrated because it seems like you can't get your nails to grow out, and give up and go back to putting on a chemical or some sort of product that's going to continue that cycle of not maintaining the health of your nail underneath. But I promise you, if you take care of your natural nails and you give them the time and the care that they need, you will be able to grow your own beautiful nails. So go ahead and file it a little bit short maybe, because that end's going to be thin. I just put this product on yesterday, and I don't ever file on a natural nail. I don't care if the product lifts. I'd rather protect my nail underneath and not do any damage to my nail, especially if you have thin nails or nails that chip and crack. So I'm going to just leave that like that, make sure it's clean, and it will take whatever product I have. And if I have to take off my polish in a week and put on a new coat, I will, because I don't want to have to wear a fake product or have damaged nails. Let's check this one, okay? So I'm going to squeeze while I pull. I might be able to pull off some of the product. Ooh, that one's yucky. See that, everybody? So we're going to go ahead and use our little cuticle pusher, and we're going to push from the back. If you're doing this at home, makes it easy. From the back, and push it right off the tip. Just push, push, push. You don't want to push that product into your cuticle this way, you know, unless you have already gotten the main stuff off. And then you'll have to give it a good little push, because you have to get it up and out of the back of that cuticle. Maybe I should turn that light off. Are you guys able to see that? I don't know which is better, light or no light. It's awful shiny. Maybe it's just in my eyes and not for the camera. Sorry, everyone. Okay, but that's it. So we're going to go ahead and clean that off. This one looks like it needs a little bit more time in the soaking box, so I'm going to get a little bit more acetone polish remover and cover it up. Get my aluminum foil and go to town. When I post this on YouTube, I will edit out the in-between time, this waiting downtime. So for anyone that's watching it on Facebook Live, I'm sorry. Go to my YouTube channel and watch it there so that it's a little bit faster process. But if you're following along and taking off your polish, then we will just hang out together and, you know, wait for our nails to soak off. Sometimes if there's like a little chippy piece, you can get one of your other nails, pop that off. You don't want to ever pull though or rip if it's still attached, because that actually will pull off a layer of your nail, and that will not be fun. That will hurt. So it will hurt your nail. Might not feel the hurt to you, I mean, but it will hurt your nail. Your nail. So we'll let that baby soak up. And then, like I said, now that our nails are clean and prepped, they're ready for whatever we're going to throw at them. And for tonight, because we're going to be starting this series of fun nail stuff to do at home, the most important thing is always to start with a fresh, clean nail underneath. So I will go ahead and end here with a fresh, clean nail. You've seen how I took off my polish and how I filed off the ends. I wanted them to be smooth. That's your most important thing. Nails are clean. There are no jagged edges. My edges are all clean and they're shaped the way that I'm going to want them once I start polishing and doing some of the fun stuff. The fun stuff that's to come. Sorry, everyone on Facebook. YouTube didn't get that, but I just bumped the camera with my foot. But yeah, so once nails are clean, if you're not going to do anything else and you're just leaving from here, do that strengthener. That is your first, where did I set those? Here. So I'm going to use my Nail Envy. If you don't want to use a strengthener, or if you're afraid that you're going to crack your nails and break them, I know I'm not supposed to, but this is Sally Hansen, and you can get this at Walgreens, and it is called Hard as Nails. They do a base coat, a top coat, but if you look, let's see, it just says invisible. It's a color. It's not a base coat or a top coat. It is a polish, and it is super hard and super strong. And I've had friends in the medical field who are always in water and they can't keep anything on their nails. They think in chemicals. This surprisingly holds up so well. Now it doesn't have any vitamins or nutrients that your nails need. If you just removed a product from your nail, you can do this strengthener first. This is what your nail needs to get healthy again. And then cover it off with a hard top coat to give it a little bit of extra strength. And I'm telling you, you'll be surprised. I love this. I don't use a lot of their polish, their colors or anything, but just this this as a plain on top of an empty nail or a top coat, it works so good, and I swear by it for certain people, depending on what your job is and how hard you are on your nails. But that's it. So we have fresh nails, and next time we're going to start painting and polishing. That's the fun part. And we'll do some fun things. So stay tuned and tell your friends. We're going to probably start with some easy things. I'm going to do cow nails and tiger stripes and super easy nail art that you can do at home. I promise you, you can do this stuff. It is not hard. Don't drink coffee. It will make your hands shake. Have a glass of water. Put some strengthener and a great base coat on your nail. And then we are going to make magic happen. And we will grow out our natural nails and keep them healthy and beautiful forever. So I'll talk to you guys soon. Thanks for tuning in. Bye.